What up, folks? I'm back once again doing another video game review, and this time I'm reviewing the Ghostbusters video game that was released for the NES back in the late 80s, and of course it's pretty much the video game adaptation of the movie, and it really picks up before they get into the school building. One thing I can honestly say, Ghostbusters for the NES is one of the worst video game adaptation of a movie I ever played, and it really starts with start screen itself when you press start. Because when you press start, you have this muddy Ghostbusters shout that you hear with that. And a lot of the NES games didn't have voice, didn't have a lot of voice acting in them, but this game honestly didn't need it, in my honest opinion. And when you press start, has that awful voice acting Ghostbusters shout, and it takes you to a map of like New York City with a Dana Barrett's apartment in the middle, where it has like zoo up under it. Then you got the Ghostbusters headquarters, I think the gas station, and a Ghostbuster store and other buildings that's in it, and they're pretty much in the on the map screen. You're pretty much the Ghostbusters logo, which, I mean, it's not a bad programming decision. I just don't get why Activision went that direction as far as you being a Ghostbusters logo. Now, with the another thing, it's like one of the things that you have to do in the game before you get started is buy Ghostbuster equipment to catch ghosts. The main problem with that is, if you watch the movie, they didn't buy their equipment from anywhere. They practically invented every single piece of equipment that they had, from the proton packs to the ghost trap itself. Some of the equipment is not in the movie, but that's not like a big deal. But the main problem is they didn't. Ray, Egon, and Peter didn't buy the equipment. They invented it, tested it out, and it was given the stuff that did work. Was given the thumbs up of approval. And as far as buying the Ghostbusters equipment in the game, to me, is one of the big head scratchers that come to my mind, for the reason I mentioned as far as the movie is concerned. You know, and one of the things you can buy is ghost food, which is specifically for the staircase scene where you have to head towards Sue and fight her. And to me, the ghost food is practically the most pointless item of any video game that I've ever played, and truthfully, that includes the X-ray scope from Super Metroid, and that item is practically useless. You know, so the main reason I'll say that the ghost food is pointless, mainly because when you drop the ghost food in the staircase section, the ghost will go after the food. The thing is, as long as you don't move, they will go after the food. But the moment that you make a move, they come chasing after you. And the thing is, there was really no point of having the ghost food in the game, let alone buying it. So I would say there's certain things that you should buy and certain in the game, and Ghostbusters and that Ghost Room isn't one of them. But that was a bad programming decision on their part. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you on that one. And then there's the driving section where you have to be on the lookout for oil runs that will piss your gas. Like the main true problem of the driving state is just running out of gas and other cars that outright hitting you. Main reason. It's kind of hard it's hard to anticipate the oil drums, which increase your gas a lot of times. Now, when you get it, of course, you increase your gas, but the problem is it is a lot of times it's hard to anticipate, and when the cars hit you, and I mean purposely hit you, you the one who loses money. I mean that don't make any sense in my opinion. And I don't know. The only good thing about that particular about the driving section is you are able to buy a ghost factor that goes on top of on top of Acto 1, and there because there are ghosts in the driving section. So when you catch them on while driving, you earn money. I guess the purpose for that is to negate the amount of money that you lose if a car crashes into you, and earn more money, of course. That's like kind of pointless. You know, there you will drive to certain buildings that has ghosts in front of those buildings, and typically those ghosts they're typically for a ghost. But anyway, there's four ghosts that you typically catch to reach those buildings. And one thing about it, there is a particular spot where you can lay down and trap and catch all four ghosts without a problem. But sometimes that one of those ghosts will typically be out of reach. You know, so if you forced to like leave and enter the trap, but there is like a particular ghost trap that you don't even have to empty, so you might as well buy that particular trap instead of the regular. But like, and one thing is like you can't enter the zoo building until a text says that says it's okay for you to go in, but the majority of the time you're not going to even pay attention to it because you have to buy equipment, catch more ghosts to buy the equipment and all that. Once you're given the okay, you just go in and go through the staircase section. And I'll be honest, that staircase section is tedious. And if you get hit 3 times, the game is over. But I found out, like within the last month, from the LJN Defender, which is another YouTube channel, it mentioned that if you open certain doors, you get like 1-up in the staircase section, which is the best thing they can ever do for his turd fest. And it's like, and another thing I want to mention is the fact that once you beat Zool, you get this text that begins by saying, "Congratulations, you beat a great game," and all that. Which, that part presents 2 major problems. The first one is the fact that it says you beat a great game. Man, are you kidding? For those who actually beat the game, the first thing I'm going to say, man, you got to be kidding me that this is a great game. Even if you didn't beat it, it's not a great game. You know what I'm saying? It's a complete turd fest. If you want to know the truth about it. And the second problem, it has to do with this, the straight up spelling errors that exist. We ain't talking about like one or two misspelled words or punctuations that's mistakes like this. That text is practically riddled with spelling errors and all that good and all that. So that is the one thing that people remember most about this game is that last text with a bunch of spelling errors. And to be truthful, this is one of the worst NES games of all time and one of the worst video games adaptation of a movie of all time. Now, for as the graphics and level design, I can honestly say that both of them are mediocre at best, but they haven't aged well at all. And the soundtrack, that's pretty much consisted of an 8-bit instrumental version of the Ghostbusters song made famous by Ray Parker Jr. And let's face it, it is the worst, one of the worst. It's pretty much the worst one of the worst renditions of that particular song, and it's a turn face, which I find honestly amazing that the song when you listen to a song by Ray Parker Jr. you gonna bob your head a little bit. I say you gonna bob your head, period. So it was like they should have did better with the soundtrack, a whole lot better with it, especially when you had to have it looping the way it does. And the gameplay, it just outright forgettable. That's all I have to say about it. Just straight up forgettable. There's nothing that's impressive or anything. Just forgettable. But fortunately, there are some good Ghostbusters video games, and they are the new Ghostbusters for the NES, Ghostbusters for Genesis, and the Ghostbusters video game came out in 2009 for the Wii, Xbox 360, PS2, PS3, and the DS. So you actually do have some good Ghostbusters games. Just to stay away from this. To stay away from the Ghostbusters game for the NES. And one thing I will say, though, if I was given a choice to play this particular game, choose to play this particular game and watch that reboot, as bad as the game is, I would lean toward still playing it. If given a choice between that and a spectacular reboot, as far as the score, pretty much I would give it a 3 for everything that I mentioned about this game. A straight up 3. Some might say I'm being a little generous, but it is what it is. Now, that being said, if this particular game, Ghostbusters for the NES, is the worst game that you ever played, you can mention that in the comment section. If you have a favorite Ghostbusters game, whether it's Ghostbusters for the Genesis or the Ghostbusters game that came out in 2009, you could also mention that. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button if you like this review, and don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.